Hello and welcome everybody, my name is Glitch and this is going to be Game 2 of Grubby versus Nerchio from the GIGABYTE Tournament. This is going to be Game 2 of a best of 5. So, in Game 1, what did we see? We saw on Metalopolis, we saw some solid play from both players, but Nerchio really just going for the boss mode macro style, was able to do so much macroing early on. Grubby just was not ready for Nerchio to be taking 4 bases like ridiculously fast. Nerchio would just, I can't believe he was even safe doing that. Grubby was trying to be aggressive too, tried to deny that third as best he can. And he did manage to do a lot of damage to that third base, managed to deny mining on it for very long, but Nerchio was just able to hold, re-drone up like a boss, and just go out full macro boss mode and take out Grubby, who was pretty much stuck on 2 bases up to that point and tried to expand and take a third, but Nerchio promptly stopped that action from going on. So here in Game 2, we're going to have to see if Grubby can make a comeback against Nerchio. And Game 2 is going to be here on GSL Terminus, and spawning in the left position as the green Protoss, we have Grubby. Spawning in that 6 o'clock position, maybe 7 o'clock, depending on how your clock looks. We've got, as the teal Protoss, teal Zerg, we have Nerchio. Man, did I screw this intro up at all. You know what? I'm not going to redo it, though. I'm going to redo it. I'm going to continue on. Going to continue doing this. Pretend like it's live. That's what I'm going to do. I will fix it in post. I'm not really going to fix it in post. We do have both players going out for a scout right now. Looks like Grubby is going to be going for that Forge Fast Expand that I have seen him do this. I actually saw him do this in yesterday's casts against Imbaloli as well. Managed to do that Forge Fast Expand, wall this off, and it worked out quite nicely. But as we can see, Nerchio is going to be poking in here. Whoa, throw down the hatchery, and maybe, didn't quite get it. What he was going to try to do there, I assume, is try to get down a very fast evolution chamber. This is something we see Zerg players do from time to time. There we go. There he now finally managed to do it, where you throw down a hatchery. Let's go back and I'll just show you guys. Let's go back and check that out. As you can see, he's going to try to throw down a hatchery. Then he's going to cancel it, and using that creep that's there for just a second, he's going to start to build an evolution chamber, and this is going to block that Nexus from going down for a little while until Grubby comes down to be able to deal with it here. So nice little play here by Nerchio. I actually kind of like that play. I'm actually kind of tempted to try to do that on my own, but Nerchio gonna have his own hatchery here blocked for a little while though. But as we can see, looks like Nerchio wasn't gonna be trying to go for that fast hatchery anyway. He did try to get those Zerglings out on the field early on. As you can see, 6 Zerglings now on the field, gonna be able to take out that pylon, and Grubby probably gonna be canceling it. Yeah, there we go, and now that hatchery is gonna be going down there. But in the meantime, there is an evolution chamber that is slowly losing health at the natural expansion of Grubby, and man, that has just gotta mess with your build. You must have to hate that as a Protoss player, for that to have to deal with that, to go for a Forge Fast Expand and then have your Nexus denied for so long. I mean, I feel like Zergs are kind of used to it at this point, but I feel like Protoss probably don't have a whole lot of experience with getting their Nexus blocked off. As we can see, these Zerglings are now going to start to poke at the front of Grubby's base, but that Photon Cannon is now going to come up, be able to deny those Zerglings from dealing too much damage. They were able to do a good amount of damage to that Cybernetics core here, but it looks like it's just going to be recharging up like normal and won't have too many problems there. Now these Zerglings are going to start to focus down these destructible debris. Looks like Nerchio might be going for a big counterattack here through that 3rd expansion. In the meantime, Nerchio just now throwing up a gas geyser. That hatchery is almost up right now, and if we check out the harvester count, we can see both players are pretty even right now. In harvesters, Grubby chrono boosting out those probes. He does have quite a bit of energy here saved up on his Nexus. Going to be interested to see what he does with that. I would almost bet that he is saving that at this point, just because he's going to be feeling a little bit unsafe with all these Zerglings attacking at his front. He's going to be feeling a little bit unsafe, so what he wants to do is he wants to save up that chrono boost, and that's a kind of a nice little advantage too. Once they finally do destroy that evolution chamber, they're going to have to deal with all those broodlings that come out of it. But as you can see, now this Nexus is going to be so delayed here for Grubby. This is a super delayed Nexus, and now Grubby is sending out that Zealot. Going to be able to pick off a couple of those Zerglings before Nerchio is able to respond. But as I was saying, the saved up energy, this is in case his opponent decides to go for a big attack right now. Does he know He does know that this hatchery went down right now, but he knows that this Nexus is behind also, and he hasn't managed to throw down any other production structures yet. Looks like that one Stargate is now out, but didn't have any other production structures, so saving up that energy is a good plan. It's his backup plan in case all of a sudden Nerchio does decide to go for any kind of big attacks. He can just start chrono boosting out units, getting out as many as he can very, very quickly. But as we can see, that's not the plan here for Nerchio, as Nerchio has just been droning up very heavily, devoting a lot of larvae to drones. We do see a bunch of Zerglings on the production tab right now, though. One Spine Crawler going down for Nerchio as well. Zergling speed just now on the way, still got a ways to go. Looks like it's still about another 70 seconds to go on that Zergling speed, and still no layer tech up either. But it looks like he's going to be going back to drones. He produced just enough Zerglings to be able to start to apply some pressure to his opponent. And now he's just going back to drone production. He is taking his third expansion, which is now up, and he's now throwing down an evolution chamber as well. There's one Phoenix that is out here for Grubby, going to start to be poking in here, trying to see exactly what his opponent's doing, and try to get a feel of what exactly Nerchio is going to be doing in this game, as he is going to be a little bit behind now that this Nexus was delayed for so long. Now, out of that Stargate, we're not seeing too much come out of it. I think we have there are two Phoenixes out on the field here somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where they are right now. Are they both? Yeah, there they are. They're both here, right outside the natural expansion here of Nerchio, putting them in a pretty good position here over this gap. They'll be able to move away from any queens that might come to try to pick him off, but he's going to be able to get good vision on this choke right here, be able to see any units coming from his opponent's base, going to be able to poke into the main very easily and see what's going on there. Beautiful scouting going down here, and holy cow, I'm missing a bit of a Zergling run by here, as they did finally get down those destructible rocks, and they're trying to get up into that natural expansion here, but force field's going down from Grubby, and it looks like he's going to be able to deny too much damage from being dealt here, but these Zerglings are waiting, and there they go. They do finally manage to get into the probe line here of Grubby, and this is not the best position for Grubby to be in. Grubby trying to do what he can to try to defend against these Zerglings, and he's actually doing a pretty good job of controlling those probes. Only lost 2 workers in that little exchange there, but now Nerchio is in the main base, going to start to focus down this pylon that is powering this Stargate. That's going to reduce that Stargate production, but as you can see, Grubby is not really trying to focus on Stargate production right now, and that's exactly what Nerchio is actually seeing right now in the main as well. He's not seeing anything coming out of the Stargate right now. He knows his opponent is probably not committing too heavily to Stargate tech, and if he pokes back down into here as he is right now, then he's going to be able to see that there's actually a robotics bay going down here, and will he see it? Yeah, there we go. He does now see the robotics bay going down, sees that other gateway, so he knows that this robotics facility's up. He knows that his opponent is going Colossi. It's pretty well decided at this point in time. Layer tech now coming up here for Nerchio. Now, what is he going to be following up that layer tech with? That is the big question. What is he going to be doing with that layer tech? Is he going to be throwing down a Spire to quickly get up some Corruptors to be able to deal with those Colossi? Other options would be to go for Hydralisks. Hydralisks are very, very, very good against Protoss armies right now, just because I mean, they do not do well when they're taking fire from Colossi, but they just decimate gateway forces. They're really, really good at just decimating gateway forces quite quickly. Wouldn't be surprised to see that going down, and there we go. We do now have a Spire going down here for Nerchio. Where is that Spire going down? Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. There's that Spire going down for Nerchio, as he does take a 4th base. Still got a lot of Zerglings running around the map here. Some did manage to get trapped in those force fields here as he poked up that ramp, but it looks like that is going to be well handled there by Grubby, as Grubby continues to get up more forces at his main. He's going for a very, very light gateway army right now, and he actually doesn't even have warp gate research up yet. He's been focusing all his resources on getting tech up. This means that he's going to be a little less defended in the early game, but in the mid game he's going to be able to storm forward with lots and lots of very high tech units, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, as Colossi are now coming out onto the field, as well as that extended thermal lance for those Colossi. There's one Overseer that's now moving into the main expansion, trying to see what's going on. Did he actually see the big gateway count? No, he hasn't actually seen all the gateways now being thrown down here by Grubby. But I think it'd be a pretty safe bet to know that his opponent is going for Colossi Gateway mix at this point, just because he does know that Colossi are coming, and Gateway is pretty much just the safe mix to go with Colossi. With Colossi, of course, they do not pair that well with pretty much anything else in the game. You need a good supportive army of gateway units to really be able to use Colossi. Good support from Zealots, which allow, especially once they have charge, they allow forces to be held by the Zealots while all the Colossi stand farther back and deal damage from a range. And now Grubby he tends to stay on 2 bases for very long. That's exactly what we're seeing out of Grubby in this game as well. He's staying on 2 bases for quite a while he gets a good army. Then he's going to start to push out and get aggressive as he takes his 3rd, which is very, very smart real-time strategy game playing. This is just general good real-time strategy tactics here. Ooh, 2 Zealots trying to be warped in to this low ground here from this pylon that was placed early on in the game. Was going to start to try to put some pressure on this 4th base, but all the Zerglings are now pulled back, and this is such an interesting army that's moving out here for Grubby right now. Forward pylons being placed. We've got a couple of Colossi here, but only a few Stalkers, only 3 Stalkers, a few Sentries out on the field, 5 Sentries currently out on the field, some Phoenix, quite a good number of Phoenixes. Looks like 6 Phoenixes currently out on the map, picking off a lot of Overlords, and that is going to supply block Nerchio, which is definitely not a good position to be in right now. A lot of Mutalisks, a lot of Zerglings currently out on the field here for Nerchio. Going to try to attack from the back, and he's going to try to deal what damage he can. Pylon does finally manage to make it up, though, and now Grubby, with, I think what he's got is, I think, is it a 7 gate? Yeah, looks like it is going to be a 7 gate here from Grubby as he throws down a lot of pylons. Looks like all these Zerglings quickly getting decimated here by those Colossus. Both those Colossus have 11 and 12 kills, and now these Phoenixes being microed very, very carefully against those Mutalisks. Phoenixes, of course, move much, much, much faster than Mutalisks, and if microed well, Phoenixes do very well, and I love this from Grubby. Grubby knows that he's killed off a lot of the Zerglings. He knows he supply blocked his opponent for a while, so he's pushing in here with his main army, and then he's going to be splitting back his Phoenix because he saw those Mutalisks going for the counterattack because they know they can't deal with this army in a direct head-on fight, so he split off his Phoenixes to go deal with the Mutalisks while his main bulk of his forces push into the natural expansion here, but there are a large number of roaches out right now for Nerchio. He's going to start to pressure this opponent. He's pulled a lot of drones off the line here, and now all the Phoenixes now coming up, taking out all the Mutalisks, taking out Overlords as well, and now they're just going to be picking up those roaches left and right. Stalkers being warped in to be able to deal with all these roaches. The roach count is very high, but it's getting decimated so fast by these Colossi. This Colossi has 26 kills right now. Both were sitting back for so long and dealing so much damage to the roach numbers, and there are so many Overlords here that are now just going to be focused down here by Grubby. Nerchio is going to very quickly lose a lot of supply. Nerchio going for the LOL as he loses lots and lots of Overlords to all of these Stalkers and all of these Phoenixes. Roaches all just being picked up by Nerchio, and I don't know if Nerchio is going to be able to hold this. That macro style for Nerchio was just a little too heavy on the macro this time around, and he's not going to be able to damage this army too well. This was just a very unusual push here from Grubby, and I just don't think Nerchio was quite prepared for it. It was kind of like a delayed 6-gate with Colossus push. Beautiful little push there from Grubby, and there is the grats from Nerchio, meaning Grubby has actually taken game 2. So these players are currently 1-1 as we go into game 3 to see, well, who can take game 3. I was going to say who could take the series, but no, this is a best of 5. So we're going to be going into game 3 of this best of 5 in just a moment, guys, so stick with me.